If you're a parent, you know the feeling, right? Those constant battles, the power struggles, it can be absolutely exhausting. But what if I told you there's a different way? Today, we're going to explore a path that moves beyond all that conflict to build a family that's stronger and way more connected.
I mean, does this feel familiar? That daily tug-of-war over homework, the endless negotiations about screen time, and oh yeah, the nightly fight just to get everyone into bed. It really feels like you're fighting against your own kids sometimes. And let's just be honest, it wears everybody out. And look, you've probably tried all the usual tricks. Star charts, taking away privileges, having those stern talks. And hey, maybe some of them work for a day or two, but that lasting change, that feeling of peace, it just never seems to stick, and you end up right back where you started, feeling defeated. Now, for those of us in multicultural families, there's this whole other layer, isn't there? You're trying so hard to honor the beautiful values you grew up with, while also raising kids who need to navigate a really modern world. That pressure to get it right can feel, well, it can feel immense.
So this all leads to a huge paradox. Why do the very tools we've all been taught to use so often just fail? Let's dig into that, because it turns out these old rules might actually be the problem.
Okay, so let's break down the classic carrot and stick approach. On the surface, it seems so logical, but when you look closer, yikes. The carrot, the rewards, it can actually kill a child's natural desire to do something. They start doing things just for the prize, not because they enjoy it or know it's right. And the stick, the punishments, well, that's even worse. It damages your connection, and crucially, it flips their brain into a stress mode that teaches fear, not the skills they actually need to learn.
And that stress response is so key. When a kid feels threatened or punished, their brain literally goes into survival mode. The thinking part, the prefrontal cortex, it just goes offline. In that state, it is physically impossible for them to learn the lesson you're trying so hard to teach. Their learning brain has left the building.
So here's the big takeaway, the huge mindset shift. The issue isn't a bad kid, and it's not a bad parent. The problem is that the approach itself is just broken. It's ineffective for building long-term skills and a healthy connection.
All right, so if the old tools don't work, what does? To figure that out, we have to completely reframe what's actually happening when a child misbehaves.
I love this iceberg metaphor because it illustrates the core idea perfectly. The stuff we see on the surface, the talking back, the hitting, the tantrums, that's just the tiny tip of the iceberg. What's really going on is hidden beneath the surface. It could be an unmet need for connection, maybe they're totally overwhelmed by a loud room, or hey, maybe they're just exhausted. Every single behavior is a form of communication, trying to tell us what's really going on inside.
And here is a mind-blowing piece of the puzzle we parents forget all the time. We're expecting adult-level self-control from brains that are literally under construction. Just look at this timeline. A child's prefrontal cortex, the part for impulse control and good judgment, isn't fully finished until their mid-20s. The mid-20s.
So, okay, now that we get the why behind the behavior, let's finally talk about a solution, a path that actually works with your child's developing brain, not against it.
So let's review the old reactive way. A misbehavior happens, a toy gets thrown, a sibling gets pushed, and our knee-jerk reaction is to jump straight to a consequence, right? We focus only on stopping that surface behavior right then and there.
But now, check out this new sequence. It's a total game changer. Instead of jumping to punishment, we start with making sure everyone's safe. Then, and this is the critical part, we connect emotionally. We help them co-regulate to calm their brain down. And only then, once their thinking brain is back online, do we move to step 4, correct and teach. Notice that? Correction is the last thing we do.
And this one idea, this quote, can honestly change everything. When we try to correct a child who is upset and feels disconnected from us, it just lands like punishment. But when we connect first, that same correction becomes a moment of real teaching, real skill building.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds great in theory, but who has the time and energy for this in the middle of a meltdown? Well, the good news is you can start building this new foundation in just a few minutes a day.
10 minutes. That's it. Seriously. Think of it as a daily deposit into your child's emotional bank account. When that account is full, you'll find that the big, dramatic withdrawals, the meltdowns, happen a whole lot less. We call this special time. It is so simple, but it is profoundly powerful. It's a protected, daily 10-minute window where your child gets 100% of you doing whatever they want to do.
Okay, the rules are simple, but they are absolutely non-negotiable. 1, they're in charge. 2, your phone is gone. Not on the table, not on your pocket, it's completely out of sight. 3, your job is not to teach or correct, it's just to be there with them. Calling it special time makes it a real thing. And when you protect those 10 minutes like they're the most important meeting of your day, you are sending the loudest possible message. You matter to me. That builds incredible trust.
So why does all of this matter so much? Because this whole approach isn't a short-term fix for today's tantrum. No, this is a long-term investment in the adult human being they are becoming.
And you don't have to take my word for it. The research on this is unbelievably clear. Decades of studies show that kids who are raised with this mix of high warmth and clear boundaries, which is exactly what we're talking about, they just do better. As you can see, this stuff impacts everything from their grades to their future relationships to their lifelong mental health. So when you choose connection over correction, you're not just stopping a behavior. You are embedding these incredibly powerful core beliefs into your child's soul. I am valued even when I mess up. My big feelings are okay. These are the foundations of resilience, self-worth, and emotional intelligence for their entire life.
So where do you begin? How do you start this transformation? The most important thing to remember is that this is not about being perfect. Not at all. It's about progress.
Don't try to change everything all at once. You'll just get overwhelmed. Instead, just choose one small thing to focus on this week. Is it going to be committing to 10 minutes of that special time every day? Or maybe it's just taking one single deep breath before you react in a tough moment. Just pick one, because those small, consistent steps are what build powerful new habits for your whole family.
Because in the end, this is what it's all about. You're not just a behavior manager. You are an architect, building a human being. And that, right there, is the most important work in the world. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.